What if you could see someone's future hovering above their head? Today we'll explore one of Don Bosco's most fascinating supernatural gifts, the ability to see prophetic flames that revealed people's destinies. The Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Adrian Fonseca. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today we'll delve into a remarkable incident during one of Don Bosco's retreats, where mysterious flames appeared, foretelling the fate of two men in his congregation. Look out for these key points in today's video: the reality of supernatural gifts in the lives of saints, how seemingly small signs can have profound meanings, and the importance of staying faithful to the Catholic Church. And a question to ponder: how might our lives change if we could see the spiritual consequences of our choices? Before we begin, you can become a monthly promoter to support our work and receive special gifts. The link is in the description box down below, and I'll tell you more about it later on in the video. A remarkable incident occurred during a retreat led by Don Bosco. On the last day, Don Bosco was leading the evening rosary, as usual, kneeling on one side of the sanctuary to the left of the main altar, with about 100 laymen behind him at his left. As he approached the end of the De Profundis, he suddenly stopped. Then, while attempting to continue with the responses, he hesitated and stammered, unable to continue. He seemed to have lost his memory or to have suffered a distraction. One eyewitness, Father John Turchi, reported after the fact, quote, "That was what I thought, but since I was far back, I couldn't see what he was doing. After a few moments, he resumed the prayers, and I figured my guess was right. When we left the church and retired to our rooms, I asked several people if they had noticed that interruption, but from their answers, I gathered that the incident was considered quite trivial." End quote. Nevertheless, many were surprised that Don Bosco should have stumbled on such a common prayer. However, his more intimate friends sensed that perhaps something extraordinary had happened, and they were right. On the following day, as everyone was leaving, Mr. Bertogna of Castelnuovo, who was curious about the incident, managed to board the same coach as Don Bosco, and he took a seat beside him. The clerics too were burning with curiosity. When questioned about the incident, Don Bosco waited until the coaches had begun to move before he replied. Then he told them what happened, starting with the words, "Last night I had a funny experience." Then he went on to relate the following. As Don Bosco was praying, he had seen two tongues of fire suddenly appear and hover over the altar. One flashed the word death, the other apostasy. Then the two flames, as if detaching themselves from their wicks, had glided through the church. Don Bosco stood up to follow their course. The two flames, after circling the group of men a few times, finally rested on two of them. The light they cast enabled Don Bosco to see them clearly. Then the two flames vanished. After describing the incident, he concluded as follows: "When I came out of the church, I watched to see if there would be any comments. Nothing of the sort happened, so I figured no one had noticed my hesitation. That's why I didn't say anything. You are the first ones to find out what really took place. Now let's wait and see what happens." Later that day, Don Bosco disclosed their names to Father John Baptist Francesca, who never forgot them. One part of the vision was fulfilled within a year. The man over whose head a second flame had hovered was a baron. He died that same year. Several years later, when Father John Turchi inquired about the man over whom the first flame had hovered, he was told he became a Protestant. This news shocked all, as he was a wealthy businessman, widely regarded as a good, practicing Catholic. This brings me to something Don Bosco wrote in Lettura Cattolica, his monthly periodical published in Turin, Italy. The two September issues of 1855 formed a single booklet entitled A Biographical Sketch of Charles Louis de Haller, member of the Supreme Council of Bern, and his return to the Catholic faith. In the appendix, Don Bosco inserted de Haller's letter to his family, explaining the reason for his return to the Roman Catholic Church. Don Bosco stressed two critical points in this booklet, using his cunning observation skills. The first was that only the most brilliant and upright Protestants became Catholics, whereas the scoundrels among the Catholics became Protestants. For the former, conversion is a sacrifice. It means an easier way of life for the latter. The second point was that whereas Protestants harassed those who became Catholics, they did not in the least bother those who switched to the other denominations or even to other religions. Now here's proof that Don Bosco could never be accused of promoting false ecumenism, which seeks to promote 3 heresies. 1. Religious indifferentism, which declares that all religions are of equal value, and therefore it doesn't matter which one you belong to. 2. Universalism, the heretical belief that all people are saved. And 3. Syncretism, which is the combining of various beliefs of different religions as a way to reach a compromise. Don Bosco's remarkable gift of prophecy shows us the supernatural dimension of our faith. Through these supernatural signs, he helped guide souls to heaven. Wouldn't you like to bring his inspiring presence into your own home? Bring St. John Bosco's inspiration into your daily life. As a monthly promoter, you'll receive a beautiful image of this remarkable saint and merry help of Christians. These aren't just pictures, they're windows into a world of devotion and miracles. Imagine being greeted by Don Bosco's kind eyes and feeling Our Lady's protective gaze throughout your day. Ready for transformation? Join our monthly promoter family today. The link is in the description box down below to sign up now. This story from Don Bosco's life leaves me in awe of what one person who fully corresponds to God's will can accomplish. Through his supernatural gifts, Don Bosco reminds us that the spiritual world is closer than we might think. His prophetic flames revealed profound truths. Our choices have eternal consequences, and remaining faithful to the Catholic Church is crucial for our salvation. You and I pray, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven," with every Our Father. The saints like Don Bosco are simply men and women who not only pray these words, but act in such a way as to allow God to answer their prayer. And they completely surrender themselves to the service of their Creator, becoming instruments through which God works marvels and miracles. What was your biggest takeaway from today's story? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for joining me today. St. John Bosco, pray for us. May God bless you, and Mary Immaculate keep you under her mantle. God love you.